A Port Aransas vacation home should give you more island time, not another job with better sunsets. And here's what most buyers don't realize. You usually buy the hassle on closing day. What you buy, who manages it, how you set it up, and who handles the problems when you're gone. That determines whether this feels like a vacation home or a second job. Let me show you the 4 dials. We bought our Port A place in 2020, and I'll be honest, we learned some of this the hands-on way. Now I live here and I help busy people buy here. People whose whole goal is more island time and not more chores. And there's one thing I want you to understand up front. Simple is not free. You see, you pay for simplicity in one of 3 currencies: HOA dues, management fees, or your own time. The trick is not avoiding the cost. It is deciding which currency you'd rather spend. And dial number 1, what you buy. You see, the first dial is the property itself, the lock and leave spectrum. At one end is the standalone house. You get maximum control, maximum privacy, and maximum responsibility. Roof, exterior, yard, pool, HVAC, appliances. If it belongs to the property, eventually it belongs on somebody's to-do list. And then you move through the smaller condo and townhome complexes where some responsibilities are shared. And this is where you have to read the fine print, because the HOA boundary matters as much as the HOA fee. And further along are the large amenity condos. You may have more shared infrastructure, established maintenance systems, pools, elevators, front desk, or rental operations in a more hotel-like ownership experience. You are paying for that structure through dues and sometimes assessments, but you are also transferring work away from yourself. Then you have the planned resort communities. These can be a strong halfway answer for buyers who still want a house, but also want an established ecosystem around the amenities and the rentals and the housekeeping and maintenance. But just remember, a house is still a house. The association can reduce the friction, but it cannot repeal roofs, salt air, or time. And there is the line I want you to remember. Low HOA dues can be a transfer, not a discount. If the association isn't paying for something, somebody is. And sometimes that somebody is you. And then you have dial number 2. Who manages it? The second dial is management. You can self-manage, of course, and you can hire an independent local manager, or you can buy into a property or community with an established in-house rental operation. Self-management gives you control and can save management fees. But if you live in Austin, San Antonio, Houston, or Dallas, or anywhere else off the island, you are also volunteering to be the person whose phone rings when the AC stops cooling in July. An independent manager can give you the flexibility and local boots on the ground. A strong in-house program can give you deeper systems, established crews, housekeeping, maintenance protocols, and sometimes even an actual human being at a desk when a guest has a problem. Management has a cost, but you are buying something with it, your time back. And even if you never rent the property, you still need a maintenance layer. Salt air, heat, and humidity do not check your rental status before they go to work. And dial number 3, how you set it up. The third dial is how you equip the property. If you're going to rent it, furnish it like a beautiful commercial asset, not your grandmother's parlor. Durable, replaceable, easy to match. Think inventory and not heirlooms. That applies to everything from outdoor furniture to dishes to televisions. Eventually, something will get broken, stained, lost, carried home by a guest who apparently needed your salad bowl more than you did. And then there's the Port A golf cart question. A golf cart can be a huge amenity and can make a rental much more appealing. It can also introduce maintenance liability and insurance questions. If a golf cart is part of the plan, get the insurance and operating details priced during the option period. Know who maintains it, how it's insured, whether guests can use it, and what happens when something breaks before you start advertising that six-seater. And dial number 4, who watches it when you're gone? The fourth dial is simple. Who watches the place while you're not here? The problem that ruins your Saturday usually isn't catastrophic. It's a tripped breaker, a dripping supply line, an air conditioner that is running but not cooling so well, a refrigerator that somebody swears is making a weird noise. The question is, who gets that call when you are 3 hours away? That might be your property manager, it might be a trusted local caretaker, and it might be the association with a strong maintenance coverage. But if your answer is, well, I guess me, then build that workload into the purchase decision. Some owners also use the longer winter stays, the winter Texans, as a lower turnover rental strategy. The nightly revenue is lower than peak summer, but there is far less operational churn. It can be one more way to tune the property towards the ownership experience you actually want. And the Port A reality check. Zero dread, not zero effort. Now, I'm not promising zero effort. Some island logistics just become part of the ritual. At our place, we have our little two-step beach routine. The golf cart becomes the beach vehicle, and the real car stays mostly sand-free. And nobody thinks twice about it anymore. That's not hassle, that's just how we live here. The goal was never zero effort. It's zero dread. And now, the common mistake. The common mistake is buying maximum operating responsibility with minimum operating plan. The buyer who stretches for the biggest standalone house, plans to self-manage from Dallas, and furnishes it like a primary residence may have just assembled a very expensive second job kit. The mistake isn't buying too much house. It's buying more operating responsibility than you actually wanted. And even if you do not plan to rent, I like preserving that option when the property and the HOA rules and your goals allow it. Optionally, it can matter to you or to the next buyer. It tends to also encourage the kind of a durable, low maintenance setup that makes ownership easier anyway. And so you don't have to know whether you want a condo, a house, or a resort community yet. Just tell me what you want the property to do for you. I want 12 family weekends a year and 0 Saturday repairs. That's a perfectly good starting point. I can work backwards from there and build a short list around the ownership experience, not just the bedroom count. And if you're trying to understand the numbers, grab the free STR buyer checklist below. It walks you through the management, turnover, guestware, reserves, and the ownership costs people tend to discover too late, even if you don't plan to rent. Buy the island time. Don't accidentally buy a second job.